Russia launched a massive attack on Kyiv. Kim Jong and Vladimir Putin are set to attend a parade in China, while Donald Trump wants to bring back the death penalty. The latest news next. Russia launched a massive strike on Kyiv. 18 people killed, 48 wounded. Overnight on the 28th of August, Russia launched its most intense attack in months, firing more than 600 missiles and kamikaze drones. The strikes came from multiple directions, hitting not only Kyiv but also other regions, including areas in the west of Ukraine. The most intense shelling targeted Kyiv, as well as military air shields in Basilkiv, near the capital, and the Starokonstantinov in the Khmelnytsky region. In the capital, many residential buildings were damaged or destroyed. In one case, an entire entrance section was blown away. Officials reported dozens of people injured, with some still trapped under the rubble. Kyiv city prosecutor confirmed 18 persons dead, including 4 children. One child was rescued at the site of the strike, while the others later died in the hospital. The number of injured has risen to 84, with injuries ranging from minor to severe. At least 30 people have been taken to the hospital. The attack also damaged 2 separate buildings, the EU mission in Ukraine and the British Consul office. EU ambassador to Ukraine Katerina Maternova said Russia carried out a targeted strike on a building located next to the EU delegation.
A precision strike destroyed a building adjacent to the European Union delegation. Its blast wave severely damaged our building and also a residential tower where many colleagues live. Thankfully, they are all safe, but shaken and horrified. What they endured during 12 hours of non-stop alarms is unimaginable. The war touched them directly last night. The war touched the European Union, and no one will convince me that this was not Putin's intention.
Foreign Minister of Ukraine Andriy Sybiha said the attack is a direct violation of the Vienna Convention and called on the world to respond to yet another brutal strike by Moscow. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky expects reaction from China, which repeatedly called for no escalation of the war and a ceasefire, as well as from Hungary.
We expect China to respond to what is happening. China has repeatedly called for no escalation of the war and for a ceasefire. This is not happening because of Russia. We also expect a reaction from Hungary. The death of children should evoke far stronger emotions than anything else. We expect a reaction from everyone in the world who has called for peace, but now remains silent more often than taking principled positions. And it is certainly time for new tough sanctions against Russia for everything it is doing. All deadlines have already been missed, and dozens of opportunities for diplomacy have been ruined. Russia must feel its responsibility for every strike, for every day of this war.
Putin, Kim Jong and Lukashenko will attend a military parade in China. Reuters says this, citing the Chinese Foreign Ministry. The parade in Beijing marks Japan's surrender in the World War II. 26 leaders are expected, including the presidents of Iran and Indonesia and the South Korean National Assembly Speaker. Most of Western leaders are skipping it. Only Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico will attend. This year's parade is said to be the largest in years, showcasing fighter jets, missiles, defenses, and hypersonic weapons.
Against the backdrop of China's growing military might during the Victory Day parade on September 3rd, the 3 leaders will project a major show of solidarity, not just between China and the global South, but also with sanctions hit Russia and North Korea.
Bloomberg reports that North Korea's leader will make his first trip abroad since meeting Putin in 2023. It will also be his first visit to China since January 2019. The Ukrainian delegation will meet U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff in New York at the end of this week. Partners will discuss security guarantees for Ukraine, Bloomberg reports, citing an anonymous source. Leading the Ukrainian delegation are Andriy Yermak, the head of the president's office, and Rustem Umerov, the secretary of the National Security and Defense Council. A possible meeting between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin is also on the table. Witkoff has already confirmed that the New York talks will take place.
We have technical teams working, and we hope that by the end of this year, or maybe even a bit earlier, we will find all the necessary pieces to reach a peace agreement.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has appointed Olga Stefanishina as Ukraine's new ambassador to the United States. Stefanishina previously served as a deputy prime minister for European and Euro-Atlantic integration. Germany wants to expand its army to respond to Russia. The government has approved a new bill to encourage voluntary enlistment. Defense Minister Boris Pistorius aims to recruit around 100,000 new soldiers by 2030. Currently, Germany has 182,000 troops, according to Tagesschau. The plan is based on voluntary service. For now, there are no plans to bring back the draft, but the law includes a clause that could reinstate conscription if volunteers are not enough. Pistorius says the army is already growing, but more needs to be done, especially with the reservists. The government will offer incentives, including higher pay, to make service more attractive.
We not only need a well-equipped force, we've been working on that for 2.5 years now, and we won't stop. But we also need a Bundeswehr with strong personnel. Only then will deterrence as a whole be truly credible vis-à-vis Russia.
Trump calls for the death penalty in all murder cases in Washington. The US president says the threat of execution is a powerful deterrent. He believes people commit crimes because they don't fear the consequences. Trump announced that in the fight against crime in the capital, his administration will push for the death penalty for those accused of murder in Washington, D.C. He promised crime in the city will be wiped out. He also plans to sell off unneeded federal properties.
If somebody kills somebody in the capital, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty. And that's a very strong preventative. And everybody that's heard it agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country, but where you have it, it is, we have no choice. So in D.C. and Washington, states are going to have to make their own decision. But if somebody kills somebody, like you could have been killed, very lucky you didn't get killed, it's the death penalty, okay?
Right now, the harshest sentence prosecutor can seek is life in prison. In some cases, they can take a case to federal court where federal law determines if the death penalty applies. During his 2024 campaign, Trump called for the death penalty for drug dealers. He later vowed to execute drug smugglers and praised China's tough stance on drug traffickers. Thank you for watching. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, our new X account, War and Politics 24, and drop your thoughts in the comments.